My name is Eric Reeves. I have put together an expansive Rock Raiders set here, a little display.
Is it in fact every Rock Raider set ever?
It is almost, I think. It is the largest single collection of Rock Raiders in the world at the moment. If anybody wants to refute that, they can find me, Rock Raiders United.
Is it because no one else is collecting the Rock Raiders theme, perhaps?
It might be that. It might be that. There actually are some folks out there that are giving me a run for my money, but as far as custom Rock Raiders vehicles and buildings, I do still have the largest for sure.
Very cool.
Now, do you build custom using the pieces, or is this just pretty much the kits?
Yeah, so what you see here is all of the actual official sets are included on the table, all of them at least in multiples of 2. But then there are also a lot of custom sets that use official Rock Raiders pieces that are designed after the vehicles and buildings that are in the video game that was released on PS1 and PC back in 1999. So everything is series specific.
Now I notice most of the layout here is this kind of really nice like speckled cardboard sort of texture. Now a lot of people might maybe take like a little bit of offense at that. They'll say, oh, that should be Lego. But I think it's important to know, didn't a lot of the Rock Raiders advertisements themselves have like non-Lego rock elements in them? And was that your inspiration?
That is. A lot of the advertisements were filmed either on dirt or rock, or photographed on dirt or rock, and even in the very cheesy 1990s ads for it, you see the kid in the loud, like, whoa, radical Rock Raiders, and he's playing with them out in the dirt, you know. And so I think it was sort of a rough and tumble set, you know, designed to be active and be played with, which is why you see a lot of the vehicles are a little bit smaller than some of the things you see now, and a little bit tougher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool. And you've got some other things to go along with this. If you want to take us down here, if you don't mind, just kind of show us some of the other things you've got along with the build.
Down here we've actually got all of the paper materials that are concerned with the Rock Raiders. So we have building instructions, we have comic books that come along with the series. So each set comes with its own comic and a little bit more of the storyline and the mystery of the Rock Raiders, which is why this actual series, even though it was very small and short-lived, has quite a big fan following of those who kind of knew the characters and what they did within the series.
I feel like it did kind of include more of a story, like sort of backing to it, than a lot of the other themes, or maybe this was like their first foray into like that backstory kind of theme almost.
That's exactly right. This is the first, or at least one of the first series Lego did that gave names to all of their minifigs that were in it.
Oh, that's really? I did not know that myself.
Yeah, so it kind of let, you know, children, adults, whoever was playing with these sets, identify, especially with one of the characters. You know, mine was Axel, the driver, and who in the lore of Rock Raiders actually used to be a Lego Racers winner 2 years in a row. And I don't know what validity there is to that, but it is confirmed. So if you play the video games, you'll see a lot of these characters have very distinct personalities, and I think that was really unique to Lego of the time.
Sure. Now I see these are like collectible minifigs on stands. They're almost like that, or not collectible minifigs. These are like the characters from the series, right?
Yes, correct. So in the series, you have, you know, Sparks in orange. You know, in the cutscenes and things of the game, he was the one who was always working on vehicles, and you have Dox, who is the geologist. He's the one that's always out there with a pen and paper, and then you have Bandit, who is the helmsman, or, you know, the boat captain, and so he's the one who's always making sure that all the boats are, you know, up to code. And then you have Chief, who's obviously the leader. He's kind of up in the big ship, up in space, and making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to. Jet, the girl in blue, she is the pilot, so she's usually the one flying the big vehicles, getting everybody around. And then Axel, like I mentioned, he's our driver, so he's the resident expert in anything big and heavy and drilling. So
have we talked about the Slug yet?
Yes, the Slug.
Is that the name, the Slug? And here's another. This is
this is the slimy slug, which is a custom of my own creation. Many people wax poetically about the slug, in that it had a very well-known riff that came on when playing the video game, that every time you knew that one was coming. And the issue with the slugs is you couldn't actually kill them. You could shoot them with your little lasers, and they would go back in their little hole and come back out about 5 seconds later.
Now, is there a way that we could potentially experience the sound of this slug?
Most certainly.
Now what is this we have here? Let's get a little close up here.
This here is a Rock Raiders soundboard, again of my own creation, that I developed for the Android operating system, and it plays all of the wave files from the video game. So if you were to, play the title there,
Rock Raider.
Okay, and so then, as we mentioned, our slimy slug warning is
Slimy slug is invading your base.
and that comes on about every 5 seconds when you're playing the game.
A slimy slug is invading.
Yeah, it is. It is in fact invading your base. So I thought I had to create the slimy slug.
That is awesome. I'm ashamed that they didn't actually create that. You had to create it. Why is that not in the sets? That's a shame.
I know, especially I'm gonna have to say, because at the time Lego did not make a lime green in that color, so I would think maybe it was that the ABS couldn't handle it, and it wasn't until about 5 years later they started making that color. So maybe the tolerances, the light colors, who knows? And then we'll have to ask the Lego group.
Of course, they know. Surely they know.
Surely they know.
But now, talking about new colors and maybe not wanting to make new colors, I think it's maybe a good time to talk about new elements that were created for the Rock Raiders line.
Yes.
Now, talk about this drilling element. I believe I read someplace that this was specially developed for the Rock Raiders line. Is this correct?
Yes, there were actually quite a few pieces that were developed for the Rock Raiders specifically, and the chrome drill obviously is one of those. If you see as well on that same vehicle with the drill, it has a very large dark gray cockpit and roll cage that were not used in any other sets either. So they did have some of their very, very typical things. When you see them in an old part spin or whatever, you know for sure that they definitely came from Rock Raiders.
I think you can say that it definitely has a unique aesthetic, right? Like that sort of this dark, what's this color? Dark magenta, turquoise.
Oh yeah. So they have the dark turquoise, which I think was used in a couple of Lego Friends sets, but is definitely again very classic Rock Raiders. When you see the 2x2x3 slope, it's Rock Raiders.
That's awesome. Well, really, really cool setup you have here.
And another thing, you kind of showed us your phone earlier, which is obviously you're on the cutting edge here as far as Lego and technology. And another thing we wanted to talk about here was your tablet here. So you can talk about what you got going on with this.
Yeah, so what I did is, again, as you guys have shown, there's a lot of questions that come with Rock Raiders, and that it's not a very well-known set. And
what in the world is this?
Yeah, exactly. So what I've done is I've actually set up my tablet to be a single screen device, so it cannot be exited out of, and it shows the Lego Rock Raiders wiki page, which amazingly is very, very vast.
There's a lot of information there.
Yeah, so anything you wanted to know about differences between the sets and the games, and in depth of there's these hidden files in the game that never got released and things like that, it's all there. So if you get a chance, go check out the Lego Rock Raiders wiki page.
And if you get a chance to check out this build, you can also check out the Wikipedia page by way of your wonderful tablet.
Yeah, thank you.
And now, how would you say do the video games that came out hold up today? Would you say, or against what's coming out today, they look pretty poor?
I would say the ultimate perfection would be that if maybe TT Games would come out and do a modern Rock Raiders, then we would have the beauty and design of modern Lego gaming in the ultimate gaming experience. So if Telltale Games is listening, it would be very well received.